This is KP4D. We're now live on YouTube.
All right, thanks, Carol. Good evening. This is James, Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, your net control operator for the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arcs members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now. KP4MD AE6JG.
K6KRQ.
K6KRQ, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna watch you guys and listen. This is the first time I've checked into this. My name is Bill in South Natoma.
Two.
Yeah, Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta here. I'm sorry. Yeah, and welcome to Bill, who's joining us, K6KRQ also.
N6YG checking in as well.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. I'm here too.
All right, so we have K6KRQ, N6YG, KP4MD, N6PGQ. I am AE6JG. Who else is with us? All right, well, George, are you ready to share an image?
Right to the top of the list. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think so. Let me see if I have tone because I've been playing with the system.
Yeah, that sounds very, very good.
I'm going to send this one Scotty 1. N6YG.
George, really interesting image. Well, we'll hear more about that in a second. Let me see if anybody else wants to check in. This is the Slow Scan TV Net. This is James, AE6JG, Net Control. All right. Carol, your first comment, if you can, KP4MD.
Sure, this is KP4MD. Welcome to Bill. First time I hear you on this net here. Bill, I hear regularly on the Slow Speed CW net on Friday evenings, 8 p.m. there on the 440-450 repeater, W6KAP. And just want to say, it's a picture from the ISS. I caught this same picture, but not as good as this. Let's see, I caught this one at 0404 Zulu. No, that's now. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me see, when did I catch? Okay, it was 1742. 1742 Zulu, so that was this morning. And it was 10:42 a.m. our time. Didn't get it as good as this, though. Nice, very clear. You have a little bit of like a band of fading right around halfway down where you see a little green fuzziness. But a very good catch from the International Space Station. Back to net control, it's KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. And Bob, N6PGQ, comments about George's image.
Well, I'm jealous. I haven't been home all day and haven't had a chance to try to download pictures. Looked like George did a good job. Not many pixel pops at all in the picture. Few you can notice in the upper and lower black portions of the picture. It's going to be interesting to know what they are showing. I have no idea. N6PGQ.
Very good. And, I got a pretty good image given the fact that this image has come so far. Not too many pixel pops in the black. It looks like the repeater ID through the middle. And this is about the birth of someone famous in the Soviet, well, it wasn't the Soviet Union then, Russia. All right. George, tell us about this. How did you get it, AE6JG?
Well, this was fully automated. I wasn't even at the computer radio when this was copied. I had the CSN SAT unit set up to on a schedule to tune in the ISS when it was coming overhead. So it would automatically set the frequency and then adjust for Doppler shift as it came over, and then I just left SSTV running with my app that uploads them to the net. So as images, just as it copied images, it would upload them. And so yeah, this was just a fully automated copy of the ISS as it went over, and I just used the Diamond X50, I think, as the antenna I was using for this. So eventually I finally decided I was going to pull my, I've got a brand new G5500 azimuth elevation rotor sitting in my shop, staring at me, telling me, put me together. But I'm so burnt out from the Girl Scout event, I was like, I don't even want to look at that thing right now, because I got to solder up all the control cables, and I'm just, between the control cable soldering the plugs on, and then I have the quick disconnect. So I make DB9s to do a quick disconnect. You're talking 30 some odd solder joints just on that end, right? And then there's the radio end, the controller end. So yeah, I was burnt out. But I think I'm looking at it. It's on the bench. I think I'm going to try to get it up and running and get the beams on it. I have a 22 element cross polarized beam that I'll be using next time they do this. So I shouldn't see any fading at all, hopefully.
That's pretty good. And so you just did that with a vertical X50. That was it.
At about 20 feet.
All right, excellent. Any questions or comments for George? Bill, K6KRQ, you are certainly welcome to ask any questions.
This is K6KRQ. Hey, I just think this is like super nifty. I didn't even know that you could do this until George told us on the NHRC Net on Monday night. And I'm kind of encouraged that he said he got it with a vertical antenna. That's about what I got, a Comet GP3 at 25 feet. K6KRQ.
Well, glad you joined us, Bill. Yeah, I'm curious about that too, so I may try to experiment at some point. Any other comments or questions?
I have one last comment.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, if you're just using a vertical, I was copying these with just a 5/8 wave vertical at one time. MFJ used to make this cheap 5/8 wave. I still have it in storage, I think. And I use that all the time. You just want to kind of focus on the 30-degree and lower passes. You'll look at the tracking software and you'll see one that says, "Oh yeah, this is going to be an 80-degree pass. It'll be perfect." But not for a vertical, it's not, because when it goes overhead, it goes into the null of the antenna, and so while it's even closer to you, you're going to get big, deep fades. I think this was a 24-degree pass or so. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think it went much more than 24 degrees, which is why it came out so good with the vertical.
I almost understand that. Thank you, George. All right. Hey, Carol, KP4MD, it is your turn to follow N6YG.
Okay, very good. This is KP4MD, and this is going to be PD120.
KP4MD, AE6JG. Well, I got a interesting copy, but let's see, Bob, N6PGQ, I'll let you comment first.
Well, I'm kind of sorry that the ID went through there. It kind of spoiled the middle of the picture. But we start out the top with some Cyrillic writing, and then underneath it says, "Thank you, Mr. Satellite." And then it goes down and explains something that I can't read, obviously. And on the middle, we have a number 4 and a line drawing of Sputnik, and then a colorful drawing of Sputnik flying over the Earth, and an object that says ISS on the side. So it's a good picture, few pixel pops. Again, I'm a little jealous. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I'm not sure if those are the repeater ID or if that is a noise from the transmission that KP4MD copied. I'm interested. I think this is about the descent of Sputnik as the first artificial satellite. Noel? Oh, it's just a weird translation. Never mind. Hey, George, N6YG. Thoughts, comments?
Yeah, that's selective fading. That's across the center. That's when the signal changes orientation from horizontal to vertical. You can get 30 dB of loss. It's pretty substantial when you're listening to it. If you listen to it, it'll really fade out. You can barely hear it, and then a few seconds later, it'll start to come back. That's why you need circular polarization. Will kind of avoid that. But if you have a good beam too, even just a good horizontal beam will eliminate that. Or you get lucky sometimes. I actually think they're using less power this time around, because on their last event, I didn't see hardly any fading, and the signals were real strong. So what I did is I listened to the very first pass before I set up the automated station. I listened to the first pass, and then I synced MMS TV, my MMS TV with their transmission. So when they were sending out their image, I synced it to them, so it would decode it a bit better. But yeah, this looks real good. I don't think they should use any typeface. The font NA1SS should be where it says NA1SS or Thank You, Mr. Satellite. That really should be the minimum size font they should use. You can't read. Or at least my eyes aren't good enough to read any of the rest of this. So, good copy, Carol. Good catch. N6YG.
Thanks, George. Bill, K6KRQ, comments?
Yeah, that's this is K6KRQ. That's another neat one. Hey, I thought too it was talking about like the Sputnik deorbiting or decaying. That caption at the bottom, but I was going to ask about the pixel pops you guys call them, but George kind of explained it pretty good. That's all I got for this one, K6KRQ.
Thanks, Bill. Also, we have some folks online who are watching N4 LED, ZL1 LAC, and KO4D BP. Thank you guys for joining us. And Craig, WP2N, who's a regular, good to see you online, Craig, as well. All right, Carol, how'd you get this?
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. Thank you so much for acknowledging the people on live chat. Yeah, absolutely. I caught this. I have a timestamp on it, 22:35 Zulu, which I guess is 3:35 p.m. Pacific time. That's when I caught this image. And yes, the bands of green towards the middle and the bottom are due to that fading when there's rotation of the antenna up there, and then my antenna is vertical and they're horizontal, and it just kind of, you get a null there for a while. Exactly what George said. And if you read Cyrillic at all, at the top it says "Spasibo, Mr. Sputnik," which that's really funny. They translate Sputnik as satellite. And down at the bottom, I can read the bottom line of the 4th of January 1958, the first artificial satellite of the Earth descended from orbit. He flew, and then the rest of it was lost in the fade. But this was the second best picture that I received, and just using a dual band J-pole that's up 20 feet, and my 8800 Yaesu FM rig. Yeah, if I had a good antenna like you have over there, George, I think I would have got a little bit of better picture. I think I also have some local noise that's a little higher than yours. Back over to James, AE6JG's KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. Just out of curiosity, I think it affects HF more than UHF and VHF, but this X-class solar flare that went off today, does that have an impact on the reception of these images?
Yeah, I think George would agree with me. There's probably no effect at this frequency from the solar flare. It may be a little increase in the background noise, perhaps. I don't know, that high in frequency if you get very much. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I don't think we'd see much at 2 meters.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Any other comments for Carol before we move to Bob?
Spasibo.
Carol, were you saying something? This is AE6JG net control for the River City Arc Slow Scan TV Net, which we hold every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific Time. Is there anybody out there who would like to join us?
This is Kilo 6 Alpha Golf Whiskey. I am listening. I don't have any images to transmit. I've been trying to receive these images. I got a partial today. I think my issue is really an antenna. But I'm just monitoring. Back to net.
All right, Alan. Are you watching online on the YouTube channel? Can you see the images?
Well, actually, I have. I'm on the radio, of course, receiving the slow scans through SSTV. So maybe next time I'll be ready to transmit, but it's not going to be tonight, and I am totally jealous. George, you got it happening. Excellent images, and Carol's, yours as well. Fabulous. I'm totally jealous because mine, it's an antenna issue. But I'm receiving, so that's progress. Kilo 6 Alpha Golf Whiskey.
Thanks for joining us, Alan. And glad you're with us. Anybody else want to join us to transmit or receive?
November 6 Hotel Alpha, Bill and Roseville.
Hey, Bill. Good to hear you. Are you going to share an image after Bob?
Yeah, sure. I can't really comment on many images. I have my hands full. But yeah, I have an image to transmit. So yeah, if there's time, N6HA.
All right. Well, Bob, N6PGQ goes next, then you, then me. So N6PGQ, are you ready?
I am. This is going to be PD-120, and it's not going to be related to the space shuttle.
N6PGQ, AE6JG. I have a real good copy. One of the things I find interesting is either the coronal mass injection in the upper right or somebody's fingertip over the lens. Let's go to George, N6YG.
Oh, you beat me to it. Yep, someone got their thumb in front of the lens. Well, that ain't common. That's absolutely gorgeous. That is my favorite era of aircraft. I'm trying to remember what this is. It has all the lines of a Stenson. You look at that thick wing root, and the wing tapers down thin towards the edge. Big giant radial engine, short coupled though. From the CG to the tail is real short coupled with that short coupled landing gear. That thing's got to be fun to take off. You have to be on those pedals. All that torque. That's a beautiful airplane. So, and good picture, by the way. It's probably one of the best pictures I've seen in a while. I've got very little echo in the received image. Sometimes you'll get echoes in these received images, and they'll show up as like these wavy lines through the picture. You have to look kind of close, but you can see it. This one came over absolutely beautiful. There's some pixel pops in there, but not a lot. Looks great. Curious to find out where this was at. N6YG, back to net.
Thanks, N6YG. Alan, K6AGW.
Yeah, a few pixel pops. Actually, it's a beautiful airplane, beautiful image, and the fingerprint. Yeah, it's a great image. Very good. That's all I got. Back to net.
Thanks, and Bill, N6HA.
Yeah, good copy here. Maybe 4 pixel pops total. I do like the fingerprint on the top of the photo there. So yeah, it's a good looking plane. Seems like there's a lot of people sitting underneath the wings trying to get some shade. So I wonder if this is a similar air show that you showed us last time. N6HA, back to that.
Thanks, Bill. And the other Bill, Kilo 6, Kilo Romeo, Quebec.
K6KRQ. Hey, you guys all beat me to the punch with the proverbial thumb on the lens photo. But in keeping with like my theme so far tonight, I just think it's outrageous you can do this with a radio. This is one of the neatest things I've seen in a while, and that is a gorgeous airplane. K6KRQ.
Thanks, Bill. Bob, N6PGQ, did you fly this into an air show?
Yeah, problem was the gas station wasn't big enough to get the wings under. I think the thing is a Lockheed, but I can't remember for sure. I'd have to look it up. This was at the fly-in that I went to a couple weeks ago at Esparto, and since I didn't have a picture of something flying way out in space, I took a couple of pictures of things flying kind of low to the ground. N6PGQ.
Oh, that's great. So this is an airport at Esparto. It's not the YOLO airport, though, right? Just outside of Davis?
No, it's a private airport. It's closed to the public, and the airport is closed to planes unless they invite you.
Copy. The Experimental Aircraft Association at Yolo County, I go there once in a while for the pancake breakfasts, and that's kind of cool out there. Any comments or questions for Bob before we move to Bill?
I'm curious if that might be a Lockheed Vega. That's really what's coming to mind right now. I'm not sure. You're driving me crazy with this picture.
Yeah, I think it is, George. Yeah, they took a few passengers up and flew them around, and it certainly sounds powerful compared to some of the, real early planes.
All right, thanks, N6PGQ, AE6JG, and I'm handing it over now to N6HA.
Yeah, let me check for tone real quick. Good tone?
Do it again, but I didn't hear anything. All right, Bill, you need to turn up the volume. I don't know if it's, I hear it, but it's really low.
It's already maxed out. Let me try one more thing.
You're using the 9700?
Yeah, roger that. I did change things around to be able to decode some stuff flying in the sky, so maybe that caught up with me. Let me try one more time.
Yeah, I mean, you're keying up the repeater, but I'm not sure if it'll work. George, comments?
I don't think I'm even hearing him on the reverse, so I'm not sure what's going on. I was still looking at the picture of the airplane.
I think I figured it out. Let me try one more time.
Yeah, it's keying up. Carol, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm hearing the tone. It's very, very extremely low, as if it's leaking from one channel to another that it's not supposed to be on. And we've had situations where even with modulation that low, MMSSTV can get a picture. So I don't know. It might be worth just trying it if you really want to bother. Over.
Yeah, we could give it a go. I'll watch the YouTube to see if anything comes through. I'll stop if I don't see anything. Here we go, N6HA.
Can I make a quick comment, N6YG?
Go ahead, George.
Hey, Bill, on the TX tab, or on the red TX button, right-click that, go over to Miscellaneous, and look under Source. and look and see if you have left or right channel selected. And click the opposite one of whatever is clicked. So if it's like left, click right and see if that helps it.
It's selected on mono right now.
Mono should work regardless of what channel is selected. Sometimes it doesn't, though. So, all right, we'll let Net Control deal with this. N6YG.
Thanks, guys. Well, it is amazing that works because it was barely audible tone, Bill. Whatever's going on, I know you'll figure it out, or we'll figure it out sometime together. We can do some experimentation. Well, I can actually read it, and that's a great image for a bad image. Really kind of cool. Let's Bill K6KRQ comment first.
If that was me that did that, I'd be all proud of it. Being that I don't know anything about it until now, that's still pretty neat. K6KRQ.
Thanks, Bill. Carol, KP4MG.
Yeah, well, you can all see what I got on because what you see on YouTube is what I received, and it's more than 50% snow. But you can read N6NA SSTV at the top, RS0ISS, and NA1SS, and start to make out some of the other stuff. Konstantin Eduardovich Tsiolkovsky or something, 1857 and 1935. Amazing that MMSSTV could decode this picture from a tone that you could even barely hear that it's being modulated on that signal. So that's just to show you the power of this software. Back to Net.
KP4MD AE6JG. Yeah, I think it's Tchaikovsky, the composer, but Bill, you'll have to tell us when we get back to you. Bob, N6PGQ.
Yeah, I'm amazed also. There was just nothing but noise in the speaker, and it pulled stuff out. I can't really tell very much about it. It says 8 of like something at the bottom, 8 of 52 or 8 of 22. But it's amazing. There's text there and picture of a dude, and it might be Tchaikovsky. Anyway, be interested to know in N6PGQ.
Picture of a dude, that's Bill when he had a beard. Alan, K6AGW.
Yeah, thanks. Interesting. I could not receive it on my MMSSTV. I had to go ahead and turn on. I thought it just wasn't coming through, but I had to turn on YouTube to look at the image. And yeah, there's a lot of signal loss here. And Bill will tell us is that what he got or not, and I can almost read that last name. But anyway, I'm not even going to try. So, Bill, that's all I got. And back to Net, Kilo 6, Alpha Golf Whiskey.
K6AGW, AE6JG, and over to you, N6AJ.
Yeah, thank you. I am also quite impressed that even worked. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my setup. I'm going to have to play with it. But, yeah, this is an image of Trovolsky, and the quote is, "The Earth is the cradle of humanity, but you can't stay in the cradle forever. The impossible today will become possible tomorrow." This is image 8 of 12 of the series, and I posted it in Discord, and it's an amazing copy. It's almost flawless, the copy I received over the ISS. So if you have a chance, look in Discord. And I'm pretty impressed with my results. I'm sad I can't share it with you guys. So anyways, yeah, it was fun to receive it. I use a handheld Yagi outside, and I sit there and aim at it, Armstrong rotation, and rotate it in the wrist for phasing, and I get pretty good copies. So it's a lot of fun. I'm excited for this event. It's always good to do SSTV on the ISS. N6HA back to Net.
Thanks, N6HA. Any questions for Bill?
I have a comment.
Go ahead, George.
Hey, Bill, if you Google Aries ISS archives or something like that, you'll pull up their archives for the all the ISS events that they've had sending slow scan. You can submit, if you get a really good picture, submit it to them, and they'll post it on the website. And then you can go back through and you can search the archives for all the images that they've accepted and posted, and put a call sign in there, and you'll see them. So, yeah, I've got one that I'm going to submit, and I think you should probably submit that one as well. N6YG.
Comment.
Go ahead.
Kilo 6 Alpha Golf Whiskey. George and crew, I believe that you get a certificate for your initial submittal, and then if you get 9 of them, there's another certificate available in this round of flyovers through the 14th. Back to Net.
Thanks, Alan. Bill, I am looking at the image you got on Discord, and that is really impressive. And obviously not Tchaikovsky, the composer, but Sielovsky, the philosopher, I guess. Back to you, Bill.
Yeah, that's what I said. Anyway, yeah, I need to fix my issue here, but yeah, great copy. I did submit this and some others to that website, George, you were talking about. I'm actually on the front page for a different image. They put my image 6, which wasn't a very good copy, on the front page there. Maybe they're just in chronological order, but you can search by my call sign. I've submitted 4 so far, and the one I sent just now, the very absolutely best. I'll probably get this entire time, so it's nice to share. N6NA, back to Net.
Thanks. Any more comments for Bill before I send an image? All right. This is not space related. PD 120. All right. We'll go from the bottom. Bill to comment first, N6HA.
Yeah, great copy here. I see a lot of airstreams in the background, and it looks like some kind of mast affixed to a bench. Oh, I lost it. I see a station there. It's hard to make out. That looks like a Yaesu with maybe another radio on the other side. I see a mag mount also down there on the bench. Very good copy. Not just a few pixel pops, nothing crazy. I wonder if this is the event you contacted us with, where you had a demonstration, because that's quite a lot of equipment just for a quick POTA activation. So, it looks like you're having fun. I wonder you can tell us more about this. N6HA, back to that.
Thanks, Bill. Allen, K6AGW.
Yeah, James, very nice image, very clean, just a couple of pixel pops, and yeah, looks like you're all set for mobile. You're out at one of your RV adventures, and looks like you got it going there for sure. Looks like fun. Back to net. K6 Alpha Golf Whiskey.
K6AGW, AE6JG, over to N6PGQ.
Well, I don't see much different than people have advertised. We have, a whole bunch of Airstream trailers in the back, and the antenna that's on the side of the table looks like it might be an ATAS antenna. I can't tell. Something, either that or one that is, expandable. Looks like a nice setup. Might be a Biolino battery sitting there. Be interested to know where this is. And obviously they let you set up an antenna. And 6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Carroll, KP4MD.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. Yeah, I think you've sent me this picture, and maybe you can give the whole story, but I submitted this to a couple of pictures similar to this came out in the River City Arcs newsletter, talking about James's talks that he had at the RV rallies, or two of the rallies that he talked to in September, and this is one of them. But the picture I'm saying is super clear. You can see what I got on YouTube. So this may be appearing in the ARL Club News or maybe in QST sometime in the future. So over to you, James.
Thanks, Carol. George, N6YG. Anything more? I'm just going down the list, and then I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add other than it looks like a nice operating location. You're all set up on a park bench. I remember doing this a few times, really enjoy it, until the mosquitoes come out. So, other than that, looks like it might have been fun. And of course, yeah, all the Airstreams in the background. So, all right, back to net N6YG.
Thanks, Bill. George, and up to Bill now, K6KRQ.
K6KRQ again. Yep, the Airstream convention in the back was what first struck me. That's a very pleasing, clear picture. And it looks like there's another antenna on a tripod or something midway between the trailers and the park bench. But a very good picture. I'm impressed. K6KRQ.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, this is at McLeod in early September. There was an Airstream rally with 65 trailers, and I put on a class with a couple other ham radio operators to talk about all the different things amateur radio can be used for, particularly when you're camping or hiking. But we also did some HF demonstrations. It's a 991 in the middle, a 5100 over to the left. We were teaching crossband repeat. There's a Yaesu handheld on the right, a coffee mug, and yellow tape. We were just by Mount Shasta, by the way. This is McLeod RV Park. Break for the repeater. K6KRQ, very observant. Yes, the antenna on the tripod is a buddy pole. And so we had a wire antenna in a tree, one end supported. Well, you can see the chameleon transformer box attached to the mast there, the white talked to Brazil and Mexico and Cuba, and it worked pretty darn well. And then the buddy pole also was set up for 20 meters, and that was working well. So, and then I did this again a week later at South Lake Tahoe, where we had 150 trailers. Any comments or questions? One other thing is I had a little Jackery generator there in the middle of the table. All right, this is AE6JG. Let me see if there's any last comments or questions for the net before I close the net.
I'd actually like to send another image if we have time. I want to throw out an image there from the last ISS event that was captured using the 22-element beam.
Yeah, N6YG, go ahead.
Is that all right with everyone?
Yeah, you have tone. N6YG, AE6JG. I have a pretty good image. Image quality is good. That's interesting. Tell us about that.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure that resending it does it justice, but that image came over flawless. All of them did from that event, and that was using the Cushcraft. The new version is only 20 elements. This is an older version. It's 11 elements horizontal, 11 elements vertical, and it was set up with right-hand circular polarization on a G5500, Yaesu G5500 rotator tracking the ISS as it went overhead. And it's just a night and day difference. You know, you can see there's no selective fading, no nothing. It's just a solid copy the whole way. On that system, they are literally 10 over S9 going over.
That's great. And did they change out radios since then? They're just using a Kenwood radio, right?
I'm pretty sure it's the exact same setup. They might be transmitting slightly lower power because I noticed more fading on this event than I had seen previously. So their signal doesn't seem quite as strong. So they might be using slightly less power. I don't know. I haven't been following it that closely. So I just wanted to throw it out so everybody can kind of gauge the difference between being able to track it versus just using a vertical. And if you use something like even the The egg beater. Egg beater is good for this as well. They work real well. I think Bill has one of those. I think Bill, were you out there with the Arrow antenna, and you recorded the pass? You go out and you track it with VHT and record the pass, and then go inside and decode it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. It's the same setup I use for just normal voice contacts, but I just don't talk. I record it and then I replay it back into SSTV, and it works out pretty well. You just have to actually sit down and decode it. So, but great results usually. N6HA.
I didn't go over to Discord to take a look at it. Maybe you can text me the image. So yeah, that's like the Arrow is what, 3 elements on 2 meters. So it doesn't take much. I think you can get the same results with like 3 to 5 elements because they're putting out so much power. So, all right, I'm not going to hold it. Back to net N6YG.
N6YG AE6JG. At the Lake Tahoe course that I taught the second week of September, one of the people in my class was a ham radio operator who worked for Kenwood for 20 years and installed the Kenwood radios on the space station many years ago. So, just interesting. All right, well, let's close this down. Thanks to everybody who participated in tonight's Slow Scan TV Net. Thanks also to all of you watching us online. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 9:59 p.m. This is James, Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, wishing all of you a very good evening.
All right, James, thank you very much for doing the net tonight, and Carol, thanks for streaming that as well. I was going to say, by the way, thanks for reminding me about Kenwood. I didn't get a chance to brag about that. I picked up a Kenwood D7A G model, the G version of that, for a song and a dance on eBay. I've been wanting one for quite some time, like for 20 years, but never got around to getting one. So I finally got one for under $100. And I made the guy an offer, and I really lowballed him. I was fully expecting him to come back with some very choice words that I wouldn't be able to use on the radio telling me where I can go, but he actually accepted it. So that should be here tomorrow. So I look forward to bouncing some APRS off the ISS using that.
Is that the same radio? I'm looking at the NA1SS QRZ page. They said they have a Kenwood D710GA. Is that the same radio?
No, that's the mobile companion kind of. No, the THD7A, and then there's a D7AG, the G being the latest model, and then the D72 is the model that replaced it. So I've always wanted one of those, but they've always been